So, okay, good morning, my dear friends. We are going to speak now in English, and we are going to speak a little bit about Berlin and Jena. The idea is just to start to practice our English and know a bit about the cities that we are planning to visit in our study visit when it goes. So let's start. We are going to speak just a bit, not really so much about Berlin, about the city. Actually, about the things that you can see in the city. We are not going to speak about the history or something like that. That is quite interesting, of course, but maybe later in other seminars we can do this. We can speak a little bit about the places we intend to visit in Berlin. And we are going to speak about Jena. Jena, I don't know the city, so I just make a small investigation or research about the city. And we are going to speak about the Placenta Laboratory in the Uniclinicum or the University and Clinic of Jena. So I hope you can have a kind of a small view. What about these cities, no? So about Berlin, I guess I just can say good things about Berlin. For me, Berlin is I don't know, a pretty nice city. When I was there, I just discovered a nice city, an awesome city. I was there 3 months because I was learning there my German or trying to improve it. And that was actually a part of my scholarship. I don't remember if I told you already that when I was studying Germany, I won a scholarship. The scholarship was between CONACYT, that is the Mexican partner, and the Deutsches Akademische Austauschdienst, that is this exchange service in Germany. The DAAD give me a German course. So I was there 3 months. And for me, like I said, it was an awesome city. I was always the feeling that I was like in Mexico City, but in a smaller and better organized, no? Berlin is a kind of city where you can find however you want. You can find culture, you can find bars, you can have fun, you can have nice places to walk. Whatever you want, you can find in Berlin. So, or at least this is my feeling, no, my sensation. So, some things that I really like at this city was the amount of museums that you can find there. Like I said, it's a very cultural city, so you can find a lot of museums. And one of the, actually not the one of the museums, some of the most famous museums in Berlin are these museums island. In this island, you can find several museums together. And why it is called island? Because it is really that, an island. If you can see here in this picture that I took there, you can see here the river, the Spree River. The Spree River runs across, I don't know if runs it's the better word, I don't think so, but okay. The river goes through the city, and just exactly in the middle, the river make a kind of island. So you can find there the museums. And of course, if you can see here, the buildings are very nice. And of course, you can find there a lot of interesting pieces. For example, one of my favorite museums was the Pergamon Museum, where you can find a lot of things about Egyptian history, no? And this is quite exciting. We are not going to talk so much about this, but this is a really nice place. Here, you can see the TV turn, or in German, Fernsehturm. You can go here to this big ball, and there is a restaurant. The ball is always just, how do you say that? That is always a movement. And you can see, actually, you are sitting in the restaurant and you can see the whole city there. And you can also see a lot of things from here, no? And this is a quite nice view of the city, I mean. This is, for example, the Berlin Cathedral, or Berliner Dom in German. So this is also a pretty nice church. But this is actually not really used for, how do you say, misas, or I don't know, religious events, actually. You can see here a lot of concerts, for example. So this is more, not really more a religious thing. It is actually a more cultural use for this. And for example, this is the building where is the government. And this is quite nice, the parliament. And for example, this is a picture that I took. Actually, not I, a friend of me took this picture, and it was in winter. So you can see here the snow just falling down. No? It was a pretty nice view also in the city. And I don't remember if I told you already that, for example, when I arrived to Berlin, and in the house where I was living, the house belongs to a woman, and she asked me once, what do the people do in Mexico when it's winter? And I didn't understand. I mean, I understand the question itself, but I didn't understand the sense, because here we don't do anything different, really, no? In winter in Germany, for example, when there is a lot of snow, when there is a lot of cold, the people don't go outside. Okay, go outside, for example, here to visit some things, or I don't know, but really the best, for example, when you meet friends, is just inside in a cafeteria or restaurant, or even in your home, whatever, but inside, not outside, no? Of course, if you have children, you go outside to play with the snow with your children, but it's not really, how I can say, it's not really a kind of thing that you do every day, no? So here, actually, we don't change our schedules or something like that just because it's winter. Another thing that I really like in Berlin is this kind of international feeling that you have there. For example, this world clock that you can find in Alexanderplatz. Here you can see the hour that is already the world. For example, here in Honolulu, or in Vancouver, Los Angeles, you can find here Mexico, and you can see what time it is in every city in the world. So this is quite interesting. And in German, it is called Weltzeituhr, that is world clock, no? And this is quite interesting. This is also a thing that I really like in Berlin, that there is a lot of squares where you can just walk, or I don't know, meet with friends. And of course, in summer, a lot of restaurants put their chairs or their tables outside, and you can enjoy the nice weather in summer. There is a park that I really love, and I can say is maybe my favorite park in Berlin, and this is Treptower Park. The Treptower Park is a kind of, how do you say, a place where you can remember people that did already died. It's not a cemetery, but it's actually more like a monument. And this is the monument for Russian soldiers that died in the Second World War. So you can see here a soldier just taking in their hands a children, like kind of I am saving them. And this is the monument. And it's a really quite silent place, but really, really impressive and really nice. And this is the monument that you can see, but the nice thing or the most impressive thing for me was that you enter not just really in front, you enter from the side, and there are, this is the like a door, no? You enter more or less for this side, and when you arrive here in front of this door, let's say that, you can see this monument, and this is really impressive. So I really love this place. Another thing that you can also visit that I was really interesting for me was, for example, visit this place, Sachsenhausen. Sachsenhausen is a concentration camp. It was working on the Second World War. And here there was a lot of Jewish people that was there and was murdered there, let's say. And here, for example, these crematories, no, for those people. So this is a really impressive place. It is not really in the middle of the city; it's just outside, but you can also visit there in Berlin. According to our schedule, of course, we are not going really to visit these things. Okay, unless we can arrange a better flight, no, that allow us to visit a lot of more things, but I don't really think so. So what we, this is also Sachsenhausen. This is the, I don't know if Baracken is the right name in English, but it's the places where the people sleep. You can see there was just here one next to another. There was not really a lot of space for the people to live there comfortably, of course. So what kind of places we are going to visit, or we are going to intend to visit in this visit, let's say? Okay, there is some museums related to nature and of course some microbiology, no microbiology. So the first place proposed for our visit is the Museum or für Naturkunde, or Museum for Natural History. And this is the entry of this museum. What you can see in this museum is a lot of things about dinosaurs. There is a lot of fossils there, and you can see this main hall where you can see this enormous dinosaur, but this is not the only one. You can see a lot of fossils about dinosaurs. So I guess this is one of the most, how do you say, famous things about this museum. But of course, the museum not only offers a visit for dinosaurs, no? This is one picture I took there. When I was there, I visited the museum, of course. But you can also find a lot of animals They have a really big collection of animals, and also they have a collection, for example, of minerals. And I just take this picture from Florid from Mexico, no? So imagine the kind or and the variety of minerals that they have. Until here, are you listening to me? It is okay, everything? It is understandable?
Yes.
Okay. So I took also this picture from the entry of the museum. So you can hear, you can see here that there is also some things that you can buy, whatever. I feel really in Berlin that it's a kind of Mexico City, but in a smaller. So other museum that we are going to visit, or we are intend to visit if everything goes okay, is the Microbiology Collection Museum at the Charité. Charité is a university in Berlin and also a research center. So this is a quite nice thing, no? That the universities in Germany, not only in Berlin, but universities in Germany also have these kind of things that they have also these museums. Like for example, here the UNAM with the Universum or something like that is really similar, no, in Berlin or in Germany. The only bad news is that this museum is closed until summer of this year. I think summer in Germany, of course, starts in July, August. So I hope that when we visit Berlin, it is already open. That could be quite great because this microbiology collection is of course really near to our topics, but I guess it could be also quite interesting for us to visit it. So in this museum, you can find a lot of halls devoted to several different things about the history of medicine, actually. I think for us, the most interesting is the things related to microbiology, but of course, it's not the only thing that we are interested in. For example, here you can see the history about radiology. So I guess these things that could be quite good for us just to know. I know you maybe know already a lot of things about it, but that could reinforce our information or maybe to start some interest there. Here is the Paul Virchow hall. So you can also see a lot of specimens there, no? So I hope we can just visit this museum. Another museum that we are intend to visit is the Science Center Spectrum Museum, also in Berlin, of course. And this Science Center Spectrum Museum is a part of the Technic Museum. So the Technic Museum is a really, really big museum devoted to a lot of things related to technique. Even aviation or textiles, however, no, quite different things, but really interesting about science. And I guess the most interesting hall for us could be the chemistry and pharmaceutics hall, no? Where you can see a lot of different models for molecules, and they have also a small part devoted to the history of pharmaceutics, no? So you can find also some machines that they were used before in order to make these pills, these small pills that we continue taking. No, of course, now the technology is quite different, but we can just have an idea, no, how was before. Another thing that we are intend to visit, or another place, better to say, is the Botanisches Garden, or Botanical Garden in English. This is not just this, how do you say, this greenhouse. It is also a lot of spaces where you can just walk and see a lot of different vegetal species and a lot of flowers and however, no? Can you give me a minute? I need to attend the door and I'm going to leave you with this nice view. Just give me a minute, please.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, I'm here already. So this is also the botanical garden. As you can see, it's quite nice. And you can see here, for example, every plants have the scientific name and a small description about the plant. So yeah, of course, we will not have a lot of time to really see all these species, but I guess we can have a general picture about their. Of course, if in the future you are interested in just studying Germany, maybe you will have more opportunity, no, to see or to visit these places. This is also a view from the botanical garden. So it's a really big space. I don't think we can just visit the whole garden, but maybe we can try to see the most important things there. So now we are going to speak about Jena. Like I say, I wasn't there. I didn't know the city, but I was really interested in know there. Because, for example, this is a view of the city. If you can see, the city is quite big, it's quite nice. I guess you can see these houses that have this particular or this more European style of construction. And you can also see these really modern constructions, no? Like maybe more outside of the city. But this city is really a kind of mix of these modern and old things, no? And other thing that could be really interesting about this city is, for example, these small squares that are quite nice, no? And Jena is the second largest city in Thuringia. Thuringia is the state. And this city is actually quite old also. The city is first mentioned in history in the year 1182 or 1182. So this is a city that have a long history. And also the exciting thing for us maybe is that Jena is known as the city of science, no, or science city. And why this name? Why science city? Because Jena have two universities mainly. The Friedrich Schiller University, that is one of the oldest and one of the city that have more tradition, more cultural and scientific tradition. And they have also the Ernst Abbe Fachhochschule. Fachhochschule it means that something like a technical schule or school. It is more like our institute, no, the Polytechnic Institute. And of course, in Germany, you can also find a lot of institutes, and it is also the city that have the a lot of research societies, or a lot of societies was founded there. So this is a city where science have a really important space there, no? And also they have a good optical industry. Here you can find this Carl Zeiss industry that you know already. For example, Carl Zeiss produce or a lot of microscopes, a lot of lens, so you can imagine. Also, you can find Scotch and Genoptic, that is one of the newest industries there, but it is also related to the optical industry. So the city is quite famous for these things, both related to science. So we will visit the city, and I hope you are interested in. It is not for sure, but maybe we can just go to this size industry. We are going to wait until the DAD say us that we earn that we won this trip or this scholarship, let's say. So we are going to see if we can visit this. So the places that we are going to visit for sure is the Placenta Laboratory of the University Clinic of Jena. So the head of the institute is the professor doctor or the medical doctor Udo Marker. Udo is the head of this laboratory, or the director, let's say. And the laboratory is also divided in several smaller laboratories. And this is the work group. As you can see, the group is quite international, no? You can see Asian faces, Latin American faces. So I guess this is a kind of group that we want to belong, no? So what are the research topics in this laboratory, in the Placenta Lab? One of the things that they are working in is about the endothelia in placenta, no? And they are pretty interested in topics related to preeclampsia and how it, how do you say, modificate or alter the vascularity in this endothelia. So, so they are also interested in measure the reaction about the stress in endothelia. That could be also an important thing when a woman is pregnant. Another topic or another laboratory that they have is the laboratory where they study bicycles, no? I don't know exactly how do you say that. And microRNAs. And these microRNAs are, like the name say, small RNAs that are involved in communication or in regulation about some RNAs or some messenger RNAs. And they are involved, of course, in the communication, excuse me, between fetal and maternal environment. And also they can be used for the diagnostic of some diseases that we can find not only in the fetus, also about the pregnancy. So this is a really quite interesting topic, I guess. And another thing that they are doing there is things about toxicology. And in this case, they took the placenta as model of the toxicology in different or for several drugs. So they can just see if they are toxic, or they can just pass through the placenta, because this is also an important topic in pregnancy, no? How you can take or no, and if they can just affect the fetus. So they are the main topics, but they are not the only topics related to. They just speak about everything, or they research about a lot of different things about placenta. And as I told you before, they have already some studies related to infectious diseases in the placenta. They even have an article or a published paper related to viral diseases and placenta. So I guess that could be the topics that are more interesting for us, because we are microbiologists. But still, for example, there are some colleagues of us that are already working, for example, in these topics, no? And I want to show you some Mexicans that are working in this Placenta Labo, that I guess that could be quite interesting for us, because this is a kind of motivation, no? We, with our preparation in our institute, we really can just go to these places and play an important role there. So, for example, Paulina Fuentes Zacarías and Julian Andres Genao Restrepo. They are two Mexicans that are already studying their PhD. And for example, here, Jose Murrieta Coxca, Jose Martin Murrieta Coxca, he already promote there, or he already won his PhD degree, and he's now working there as postdoc. So as Mexicans are people that study in the Instituto Politécnico Nacional, we can just reach these places and really a good research. And I am not completely sure if they are Mexicans too, but for example, Aleida Susana Castellanos, that for me sounds pretty Mexican, or at least Latin American. She is an invited researcher here in Placenta Labo. And for example, Diana Maria Morales Prieto, she's already a lab head. She is the main person in this topic, or in this laboratory, vesicles and microRNAs. So I don't know, maybe if you really have the interest to go to Germany, it is also possible that you continue their studies there and just have this kind of places, no? That you are already a lab head. So I guess this is the last thing I want to tell you, unless you have questions or something. So this is everything for my side. Okay, we have just 1 minute, so we can stop the session there. And if you have questions, we can just start again with the same link. If they don't allow us, we are going to make a new link, if you agree. So we are going to stop now and reconnect with the same link, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so see you in a few minutes.